Hello and welcome to Homestead Imaginations. Today is July 12th. I know the past couple videos also said the same thing. I've gotten way behind on doing any videos and finally feeling froggy and decided I should record a bunch. These were all planned. This is what I wanted to do with the videos. I just didn't do them on time. Things have been a little rough, so finally got the energy to be able to do these. So this video is going to cover what did I add this year? What are my new additions? So here is one of the raised beds. And I tried to germinate these carrots. So these are carrots and they're doing really good. I've never grown carrots before. I'm going to say that in a lot of my videos. A lot of stuff is going to be the first time for me in a lot of these videos. So we got 5 that have grown that I planted. Once I put this raised bed in, I think I planted 12, but only 5 germinated. And the soil, so the way I created this, I've got this wood here. These are posts that supported an above ground pool that my parents had. And I painted them, and I actually took pool liner, and that's lined on the inside of all the wood, because I'm pretty sure the wood is treated, but I put the liner in, I painted it to help protect, and then I put the liner in to not let the soil really get to it. So at the bottom of this, I had done some research, and a lot of people said to use like logs and branches and bark and stuff like that and put that down first. So I layered that, and I probably layered it to I think this whole thing is about 18 inches. No, I think this is like 24 inches. I think it's like 2 feet. So I think I did about half. So about halfway up is filled with like logs and branches that I then filled the sand in on top, then dirt on top. So this, more so on this side I just used just regular soil, but I had read that carrots really like it very loose. So I actually, when I filled this side in, I mixed sand and dirt soil, probably like 60 soil, 40 sand. I might need to add a little bit more sand. We'll see how the carrots do. But look at this. So this right here, I just put this in today. Earlier today, I transplanted this in on my lunch break at work. Well, I work from home today because the kids are off and my wife's out of town. But I just transplanted this on my lunch break, and already in just a couple hours time, this thing is already, something's already eaten its head. Looked like this, like probably not that because that's a little too big, but like, I don't know, these are all too grown up. But basically like these, like the starters, if you're familiar with carrots plants, like it looked like these starters over here, like when these first start, that's the type of head. So I don't know what already got in here and basically chewed the top off my new carrot. So hopefully that doesn't kill it, but oh man, frustrating things. And then these are my beets. Again, another first timer. This is the first time I've had a raised bed. We live in clay, which is super annoying when it comes to, especially this yard. It's when it rains, you can't walk out here in normal shoes because your feet will be soaked because it just holds water. So I had to wait to get a raised bed to be able to actually start growing stuff like this. So I chose carrots and beets just to try. I don't think I've had too much beets in my entire life. Carrots love, but beets I'm not sure on. But I know my wife likes beets, so I went with those. But other things, there's other things that we want to grow. Potatoes, garlic, onions, all those I know we want to grow. So this was one of the new additions. Didn't take too much time to put together. All recycled materials. I didn't pay for any of this. I got the stuff. My parents gave us their old pool. We were originally going to put it in. We decided not to. It was pretty beat up and it was just too big. We just didn't have the resources or the time to be able to put in such a massive pool. So we decided not to. So now I decided to make use of at least the wood. And so we made one raised bed out of it so far. And I'm going to make another one. And then out of some of the planks from the deck, I'm going to make one more. So then the other big thing that took a ton of time it was like a whole weekend of just digging, is the fruit trees and the 2 fruit bushes. The bushes didn't take anything, those were easy, but these 4 fruit trees, they were a real pain in the butt, because again, we live in clay, so apple trees do not like clay. It's too much water. So this is an elderberry bush that's doing pretty good. And here's another one. I'm super excited about these because I read that if they grow really well, and they like clay soil, that if they grow really well, they can actually produce fruit by the end of the first growing season. So I'm hoping and excited that, you know, come late August or September, whenever they're kind of done, that I can maybe get some fruit this year. So that's pretty exciting. Those weren't too bad because they like clay, so, but these monstrosities, man, we dug, me and my boys, they helped at least get some of the, like, the little smaller chunks out and help dig this out. So this was a hole that we dug 2 feet wide or 3 feet wide. And I forget, I wrote it down too. I write everything down. I have a gardening journal. I write everything down every time I do something. Anything of note, anything I should, you know, that would be useful to know in the future, I will write it down so that way I have it. I think it's 3 feet wide, and then we went anywhere from 18 to 22 inches deep. We dug out all the clay, and then we put in a little bit of sand at the very bottom. We layered the bottom with sand, and then we filled in with topsoil. And then now we've mulched. And oh, that's just a dead part of a leaf. So this one's not doing too bad as the other one, but so this is a apple tree. This is either a McIntosh or a Honeycrisp. I think this is the McIntosh. I think the tag's down there. Yeah, tag's down there. I can't see it. And then, oh yeah, so that's the McIntosh. I can see the tag on this one. This is the Honeycrisp. This one is having some issues. It's got like the orange leaves on a lot of the leaves, and like a lot of looks like bugs have chewed through a lot of the leaves too. So I looked it up. I saw something that I think it is. I don't remember the name of it now, but I gotta look up and see what I can do, if I need to like prune the leaves off and help preventing it from spreading. But I got that one, and I learned after the fact, if you're going to plant multiple varieties of fruit trees, to not put the same kind near each other, so that way the same pest won't spread, because the pests, I guess, are pretty dependent, or diseases are pretty dependent on the species. So like a pear tree will have different pests than the apple tree will have. So look at these. I love this. So these are growing at the top, and this one is doing so well. Some damage from bugs, like there's some damage here on these leaves, but overall it's looking really good. Again, I'm gonna say it like I always do, never had fruit trees, I've never grown fruit trees, so this is all learning. This is actually I put these on all the fruit trees. Ooh, there's a little spider on there. I put these little wacky noodles or pool noodles on. I cut little pieces because we get some severe wind, and these were just constantly blowing, and they're rubbing against the edge of this metal mesh and actually cutting into the wood. So I decided to put these on, and that's made a huge help. They stopped cutting. So that's what those blue noodles are for. And then I did get I had another pear tree, but it didn't make it. So this area has now just become weeds for now. Until next year, when it gets I probably won't put the other pear here, but that's a Summercrisp pear. This was a patent pear, but it didn't survive. It didn't grow right when I got it. It had leaves when I got it. Like as soon as I opened up the package, it was already sprouted and had leaves, but I wasn't able to put it in the ground for like a week because we had to dig all these massive holes, and then I had to get dirt here, which I had to borrow a neighbor's truck, which again, I'm gonna say it again, I have awesome neighbors, and they are so helpful. They let me borrow their truck and go get soil, so I went and got a truckload of soil to help fill these holes in, and by the time I got the holes dug and everything, even before I went to plant it in, the leaves were already falling off that. So I didn't think it was going to make it, and it didn't. So, but the people were great. I showed them pictures of what I did and how I set these up. Oh, I gotta weed that pretty bad. And that explained what I saw and what happened, and that everything else I got from them survived, but that one, and I'll be getting a replacement. So they're really great to work with. I just sent them pictures and explained it, and they're totally understanding, and I'll be getting a replacement next spring. So I won't put it there because, like I learned, you don't want to put like same trees next to each other. You want to kind of space them out if you can, which I will be able to, because I'm planning on getting like all sorts of like plum trees, cherry trees, probably some more apple trees. I know my son wants he wants more green apples. He says those are his favorite, so he would like another green one. So I'll probably figure out what one to do there. Maybe like Granny Smith's. I'm pretty sure those are like green apples. But yeah, so this whole area right here is just going to be completely from here, like pretty much almost all the way to the gardens. Maybe by like that tree line, I'll probably maybe cut up. I'll have gardens of like growing all the different vegetables and stuff over there, and then from here over, and then I'm probably going to make another row back there and do that with more fruit trees, and then go all the way to the back here. So I've got plenty of room. So I am going to fill this up with fruit trees, and then in between the fruit trees, there's a great guy that I found. A friend had sent me his YouTube channel. I know his name's Stefan. I don't know, or Stefan. I can't think of his last name, but I can link his channel because awesome guy. He knows his stuff when it comes to fruit trees, and he is what I'm going to be basing off this food forest here with, doing 2 fruit or nut trees is his philosophy, and then 1 nitrogen fixing tree. So this area is going to be completely maxed out with all these fruit trees and all the stuff in between. So you do your 2 fruit or nut trees and then a nitrogen tree, and then you alternate the pattern. So basically every single fruit or nut tree, I don't know if I'm going to get nuts out here. I might. It's an interesting concept. I didn't even think about it before until I came across him. So I probably will. But you put 2 of those in any kind of sequence, and then you do the nitrogen. And when you alternate it, you make sure that each plant has a nitrogen tree near it. And then that nitrogen fixing tree basically supplements the land with nitrogen. So it helps keep your other fruit trees with all the nutrients that they need, at least the heavy, nitrogen. So you need less fertilizer to help support it. So those trees will actually help the rest of it. So the other thing that I did this year, which I'll make a separate video on when I actually start the composting, I'll do a compost video where I actually make the compost, is we've got this compost that I just put together. I made these from all free pallets. My uncle had driven by a place, and he saw that they had pallets and asked if I wanted any, and I was like, yeah, I could use some pallets. So these are all heat treated pallets. These are like the best ones that I had in the ones I got for free. Like, some of them are really good, like very well made, not much space in between, and then you got some others that aren't so great, but I worked with what I got. And then I just use like these little pegs to basically put this in, and if I want to like get in there to be able to rake it, I'll just lift that up. So those are like my doors to keep my dogs out and stuff. But so far I haven't started the compost pile, but I have taken things, food scraps, and started throwing them in here. But it's not, I wouldn't really consider that composting, just because it's not done right. Like, it's just thrown in there. There's no browns really. That's all your greens. So, and I'm gonna be getting some cow manure from a local farm, buying some local beef from them, and gonna be picking up some cow manure from them as well. And then once I pick that cow manure up, that's when I'm gonna start that. And I'm hoping to do that this week. So, but before I can do that, I live on a dirt road, private dirt road, that we're the last house currently. We are the last house on this road. The rest of it is just plots of property that are just woods. No development on them at all, besides a couple. One guy is starting, so eventually we won't be the last house on the road. And then there's a guy that has like some other stuff like cabins or whatever down the road as well. But once you go past that guy's little plot of land, it grows up. It's all coming to, like, bushes have grown into the path, and weeds and trees are growing into the road because it hasn't been maintained, because there's no reason. None of these people that own these plots, a lot of them don't even live in my area. They don't even live in this like town, county, or even state. So they don't ever come by their property. So past that, it's completely grown up. So the farm is actually just past my property on the next road. But I want to be able to take my side-by-side because I don't own a truck, which is definitely like a faux pas for a homesteader. I'm learning. I've never wanted a truck ever in my entire life. I've driven them. My dad's always had a truck. I've just never liked them. I like being lower to the ground, but man, I want a truck now. I'm at a point where I need a truck, because there's so many times where it's like I need to go get dirt or go pick something up, and it's just like I can't do it, or I gotta like find someone and negotiate with them, not negotiate, but just ask permission to borrow their truck. And luckily I have really great people in my life that let me borrow their truck and do things, so very fortunate for that. But the rest of the road, it's completely grown up. So me and the boys, we actually spent like an hour and a half or whatever the other day clearing as much as we could off the road, cutting up a bug just flew down my throat. Ugh, that was gross. There's trees that had fallen that were dead that fell onto the road, so I had to cut those up and move those off the road, and then cut brush back so that way we could drive the side-by-side down. So we got about halfway. I think this road in total is like 1.5 miles, and we're at the half-mile mark. So I think there's 1 mile from us all the way to the end before it connects to the other road. And so we made it about maybe another 1/2 mile. So I think we have like 1/2 mile left approximately of clearing that. And then once that gets cleared, then I can just drive around and go to the farm and pick up the stuff. So that's the plan. So it's just waiting on time for that. We're gonna work on it tomorrow. Hopefully we get that done tomorrow. And then I can reach out to the people that own the farm and work out a time where I can go and pick up the meat and the cow manure, and get the compost started and try local beef for the first time. I've only ever bought stuff from the grocery store, and I'm really excited about having local raised animal meat, because they raise it how I would raise animals if I had them, and how I plan to if I ever do get to that point. So I'm super excited about that, because it's gonna be super healthy. Can't wait to taste and see the difference. Like, they've posted pictures of like what their meat looks like, and like you can compare it to what's in the store, and it just, oh man, I'm excited. It's gonna be hopefully really good. So I'm gonna be doing that. I got the compost, and then the other thing I did is I've got a greenhouse out back that I put just one melon plant in and one watermelon plant in, and I just put them in. I just finished the panels on Monday. Every weekend I've just been super busy with stuff going on for the kids or the family, or other projects that we were doing around the house that have nothing to even do with homesteading, just other things. We're still making changes to the house. We will be here 3 years come September, and we're still making this house our home. And it is finally starting to feel like it is home. So that's very exciting, but it's also really busy. We got a lot of projects that we still have to do with the house. So I just finally on Monday got the panels put up and secured, so hopefully the wind doesn't blow them off. And we had, just the other day, we had tornado warnings in the area, and the wind was insane, blowing. Trees were like whipping back and forth, and the panels all stayed on, which is super impressive, because I put the panels on without securing them with like glue. Like, I used a silicone coating to lock them and hold the clips in place. I had put a bunch of the panels on. I'd almost did all the paneling besides like the top roof part, because I hadn't gotten a chance to finish that. So, and I had to wait for some components. I had to go back to the manufacturer and get components, because I got the greenhouse from my sister and brother-in-law. They wanted to start a garden, and then my sister broke her leg, and then they just haven't gotten to it, and they plan on eventually moving from their house, so they just didn't want it anymore. They wanted to get rid of it, and I was like, well, I'll take it. So I got the greenhouse for free. I mean, I got my brother a nice bottle of whiskey or bourbon that you won't really see on the shelf. It's like a limited edition. I worked with the nice woman that owns a liquor store that I used to work for part-time. Still friends with her, great person, and worked with her to help get him a bottle that is something that you can't just find on the shelf. So that as a thank you. And then my sister, I gotta do favors for her to pay for it, but that's about it. Otherwise, it was free. And then I had to put some money into it, buy some of the replacement stuff, and then buy the silicone. But it's going to be a great place. I think that's where I want to try and germinate my seeds next year, is right in the greenhouse instead of having them in the basement under a grow light. It'd be more natural, and then I don't have to use electricity either. So, not that the light that I have is extremely great. It really didn't change our electricity bill. So that's all the things that I did so far this year for the expansion of 2024. So it was a lot, and that's just the stuff that I did here to expand. That's not even including all the other stuff I've been busy doing this whole time. I try and keep myself busy. I don't really like downtime. I don't know what to do with myself. I'll watch a little bit of TV like right before bed, but other than that, like I can't just watch TV or even or play video games or anything like during the day. Like if it's during the day, like the only way I'm not doing something is if like I'm sick. Otherwise, like I'm trying to do stuff because I can't sit still. Just like my dad. My dad couldn't ever sit still when I was growing up, and now he doesn't have a choice, so he's getting used to that. But I just don't have it in me. I don't like sitting. I'm always thinking about like, oh, what could I be doing? What cool thing could I be improving or whatever, which to me is exciting. So I enjoy being busy because it's all for me and my family. So all right, so that is everything that we have done in 2024. And then there's more to come. What probably be my next video that you will see when I post, and that'll be a video of what I've learned about how to compost. Doesn't seem too complicated. Yeah, you can get pretty technical with it, but at least just be able to do basic composting, I think, is pretty straightforward. You just got to put it in the right kind of mixing materials. And I've been saving up all my cardboard from packages and whatnot, or brown paper bags from grocery shopping, and I'll be using that as a lot of the browns to be able to start mixing. So alrighty, well, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good one, and keep the imagination rolling. Take care. Bye-bye.